Everybody, and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time, what we have here is not exactly metal release, yet it's kind of a metal related. Let me explain. You, at least most of you, I would imagine, know the band called Emperor, and through that you also know the artist known as Mortiis, who just, well, started his Mortiis project when he left Emperor. Now, Mortiis guy Håvard Elefsson also has quite a few side projects, not to mention such names as Bond and Fata Morgana. Also, one of the lesser known names is what we have actually here today. It's called Cintecele Diavolui. Don't know how to pronounce it properly. What I've gathered is that it's supposed to be Romanian, but it's not exactly correctly written or whatever. And this time we actually have a couple of vinyls here, which are in a way reissues. Well, technically the other one is a reissue, the other one is, well, something that might have been a reissue if it had been released back in the days. To cut the chase, I think it's clear to say that since Mortiis started in early 90s and already did quite a few albums in a relatively short span of time, then these other projects started to emerge, and along the way came this project, which then got released, its only release back in the 90s, 1996, and it's called, let me see, here, this one's called The Devil's Songs. It's an EP with 5 tracks. This is Funeral Industries release. I think it was late January 2020 when this actually came out. And as you can see, this is a vinyl release, a black vinyl right here. And in addition to that, there is this inside cardboard, which has this nice looking skeletal image, and also the recording information. As you can see, recorded in 1996, and then there are some information about what is this story about. As you can see, it's Vampir Vugodlak, which is kind of a Mortiis alter ego in a way. And then there's this information. As you can see, Mortiis Håvard Elefsson is mentioned here, and then the release years in a way. And that's the first EP, and once again, the cover is right here. Very simple design, and on the other side we obviously have the track list. Now the second one is what I understood is like kind of an unreleased release of the same stuff basically. This also has this kind of a cool cardboard design inside, but this was done in 1996 and 1997, and once again information is pretty much right there. Also black vinyl, and roughly both these are some half an hour long. And here is the cover of the second part called The Devil's Songs, one Soulless for the Devil. This one has 4 tracks, 2 per side as such. Now let's take a look at the Metal Archive site. Even though this is not metal band, back in the days some non-metal bands were accepted to Metal Archives if they just had the metal connection, so to speak. So here we go. As you can see, this is supposed to be started 1996 because that's when the first material came out. And as you can see, there's not exactly ending year, but basically nothing happened since that. And even though this later one is mentioned here as the recent release, which is technically correct, it's still old material. And you can pretty much just check out the track list here, and also other versions right there. Lineup information, it doesn't show anything else but basically Mortiis alter ego name, so it's just link to Mortiis page. It's just this Vukodlag name. And other versions are here to kind of show that this was early on released as vinyl, CD, and later on digital, and then in LP and CD format. I don't know why this actually says 2019, because when I got the information straight from the label, it says 2020. So there's a little bit probably misinformation. And these additional notes tell you about the print size. But, well, that's what there is. This is the original versions, obviously. If you want to look at the print size, you probably have to take a look here. This says independent, but however, the version I at least have is done by Funeral Industries, so I don't know if even this information is true, saying 400 copies on black vinyl and 100 on gold vinyl. And also the second EP also listed here. Other versions are here mentioned, as you can see, 2020. These are more accurate information, but however, these also are listed as independent. Why, I do not know, because on the covers, as you can see, they are Funeral Industries LPs. So that's what there is for tracklist, and there are no modern social media pages or home pages for this project, for rather obvious reason. It doesn't exist anymore beyond these reissue formats. So there you have it. Now, to talk about music of Cintecele Diavolui, it's kind of easy to just sum it up being a Mortiis side project with not that different music from Mortiis. That is, it's kind of a dance and synth music, but with a little different tunes, less ambient-like and more about kind of happy-co medieval melodic tunes. This especially holds true with the first EP, because you can clearly see it's kind of a Mortiis spin-off, whereas Mortiis was trying to create this kind of a more abstract songs in a ways, that is more about these soundscapes and atmospheric parts and so forth. Now, the Devil Songs is more about creating this medieval music. It's actually something that you might have been listening, at least very similar in style, in those video games back in the 1990s, especially strategy games and role-playing games. And it's kind of a mood that you might have been getting if you played games like, I don't know, Heroes of Might and Magic, Master of Magic, and that kind of stuff. It's very, very much like that. Kind of a fantasy, role-playing, strategy, whatever game, music. And as such, it's quite okay. It's not very memorable, but it has certain kind of nostalgia, even if you listen to it now for the first time, like I did just before making this video. And the music is just kind of easy to get into, but it's not very great, to be honest. In my opinion, it might have gotten better over the years, should it have been going on along with Mortiis. But now it seems like it's a kind of a one release thing, well, now two, but still, and maybe it's gone for a reason. Now, the second EP is way more, say, experimental in nature. It definitely has more ambient-like background, but on the foreground you also hear some vocal parts. Some of them are more like kind of stuff, so not exactly singing. But there are also parts that have been, or have been included with kind of a singing parts. They're not good. Actually, they make me a little bit feel kind of a cringy, kind of like, this is a little bit awkward. Why do you have these vocals here? Some are spoken parts, but to be honest, they don't make much sense. This would have been better without those vocal parts, all in all. But the music is very much more experimental in nature, like it differs from one track to another. So it kind of requires you to be very much into experimental music or be a big Mortiis fan to actually like this album or EP. The first one is, like I said, it's more closer to Mortiis, and I think it's worth your value, value of your money, that is, if you are already Mortiis or a Bond fan. But the second one is definitely something that, I don't know, it's hard for me to kind of recommend it to anybody because it's so different from one track to another. And since there are no samples at least during the time I'm making this video, I don't know how to for you to check it out. But if I shall find links where you can just get those samples heard, I will include them in the description box. So situation might be a little different right after this video. Anyhow, with this information, I urge you to ponder for yourself whether or not this is your cup of tea or not. With these words, go for it and check it out if you think you're up for it. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.